Comrades, be disciplined, mobilize, organize, viva, I'm not boarding.
Captain has legal obligations. There is no way the captain can take me to Dubai by force. First of all, I don't have a passport. Secondly, I didn't book your plane. Thirdly, I don't have status in Dubai. I'm not boarding! I'm not boarding! I'm not boarding! I'm not boarding! I don't have a passport. I'm not boarding!
Miguna. A 58-year-old Kenyan-Canadian lawyer was deported from Nairobi on 26th March of 2018, just 2 months after he and other lawyers swore in the opposition leader Raila Amolo Odinga as the people's president following the 2017 presidential elections. He announced on his Twitter account that he will be landing at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport from Toronto, Canada at 8:20 p.m. on 25th October. Who is Miguna? Miguna was a student leader at the University of Nairobi. In November 1987, he was arrested and detained in incommunicado before being released and expelled from the university together with some of his colleagues for championing multi-party democracy. He was detained by the Moi regime due to political activism while serving as a student leader at the University of Nairobi, and he later fled to Tanzania, then Swaziland, before being granted political asylum in Canada in June 1998. He obtained a bachelor's of degree arts with distinction in political science and philosophy from the University of Toronto in June 1990, a Juris Doctor from the Osgoode Hall Law School of York University in June 1983, and a Master's of Laws degree with distinction from the Osgoode Hall Law School in June 2001. He was admitted to the Ontario Bar as a barrister and a solicitor in February 1995 and as an advocate in Kenya. Miguna has served as a senior advisor and chief strategist for the Orange Democratic Movement, ODM, and its party leader, Raila Amolo Odinga. He was the senior advisor on coalition, constitutional and legal affairs to the Prime Minister of the Republic of Kenya, and he also represented the ODM and Mr. Odinga during the constitutional review process. He has been a commentator on cultural and social politics. In August 2017, Mr. Odinga ran for president against Mr. Kenyatta. He lost, but the country's Supreme Court said the election wasn't transparent, prompting a rerun in October. Mr. Odinga, however, declined to enter this race, saying nothing had changed, and Mr. Kenyatta went further to win with 98% of the vote with only 39% of the turnout. He let Mr. Kenyatta govern just for 2 months. Mr. Odinga held his unofficial swearing-in ceremony at the Uhuru Park in Nairobi on 30th January 2018. During an oath signed and conducted by Mr. Miguna, Mr. Odinga declared himself the people's president. President Kenyatta, however, took 3 TV channels off air. Police also arrested TJ Kajwang, a lawyer who witnessed the ceremony. 2 days later, they broke down Mr. Miguna's door or home in a drone raid and also detained him. He was then kept in unlawful incommunicado detention for 5 days under the most horrendous, cruel, and inhumane conditions imaginable. He appeared before a court outside Nairobi and was charged with being present and consenting to the administration of an oath to commit a capital offense, namely treason. While some saw Raila on official swearing in as little more than a publicity stunt, it had certainly attracted the attention of the government, which was governed by Mr. Uhuru Kenyatta. Critics say that its reaction has been over the top and that the country is slowly turning into a police state, with arrest of the opposition supporters, shutdown of the TV stations, and court orders being ignored. The government, however, insists that the swearing-in was a tantamount to treason and so could not be ignored. But what it hadn't done yet is arrest Mr. Odinga, as this could inevitably lead to a confrontation between his supporters and the security forces. Videos posted on social media showed him on a boat flight to Amsterdam, from where he was due to connect to Canada. Mr. Miguna's departure angered his supporters, who questioned what the right of government had to deport Mr. Miguna, who was born in Kenya. He said he has never renounced his Kenyan citizenship and could never do that. The constitution is crystal clear. No one can invalidate or purport to cancel the citizenship of a Kenyan-born citizen. Miguna is a representative of the tension between Kenya's executive and judicial arms. While the lawyer has filed multiple cases and has court orders stopping his arrest and deportation, which even the Chief Justice David Maraga insisted that must be obeyed, the executive has held on to its decision to keep him out of the country. Despite Kenyatta and Odinga's March 2018 truce, the Jubilee Party regime seemed keen on keeping Miguna out of the country. While it serves both President Kenyatta and Odinga for Miguna to stay in Canada, his exile might alienate them from the supporters who view it as a violation. The now staunch supporter of President William Ruto administration revealed he had been facilitated to get a new Kenyan passport. He then posted a photo of the passport as proof that all is set for the much-awaited travel, adding that he was only waiting for the lifting of the red alerts barring him from boarding planes to Kenya. In a post on his Twitter account, Miguna said once he is back, he will give plans for how he will execute his leadership to the Luo community. On October 20th, Mashujaa Day, he will unveil a comprehensive, pragmatic, and progressive blueprint for the transformation and development of the Luo Nyanza, specifically, and Kenya in general. Will Miguna be the stone that builders rejected? The Luo nation is facing interesting times going forward. First, Raila Odinga, who has been at the center of the community's political formation for over 3 decades, is facing his sunset days. His advancing age, though a natural process, has erased his chances of ever becoming Kenya's president. The sacrifices and the emotional investment that the community has put in the making of President Raila has not paid off, nor has Mr. Odinga's historic handshake on March 9th showed any promise. It's undoubtedly an agonizing moment for the community. The current crop of Luo politicians appear to lack vision and understanding of what post-Odinga political dispensation may offer. They also seem to be ignorant of the Luo political awareness. It is unlikely that the Luo community will cease to identify with leaders who exhibit courage, might, and exuberance. And however will replace him whoever will replace him will have to embody the fundamental quality of courage. The Luo community won't allow a coward to fill Mr. Odinga's political shoes. Cowardice is not Luoism. Too much humility is not Luoism, even though history has rewarded it. Dr. Miguna is a likely potential Luo ethnic kingpin in the post-Odinga era. But will he be able to fit Odinga's shoes? Dr. Miguna casts a rare image of what constitutes the Kenyan politician. Unlike any politicians in the recent history, Dr. Miguna has exhibited unusual courage, that is primary in challenging the status quo. He has a clear conviction of the kind of nation he wants. On many occasions, he has been an apologetic critic of electoral and social injustice, unlike many Kenyans. Dr. Miguna is arguably the only remaining vocal Kenyan who believes that the Kenyan dream can still be reclaimed. These audacious qualities have earned him both friends and foes, but have identified with the Luo political elite. Dr. Miguna's bold and bare-knuckled approach to political events put him on a higher base to take the Luo leadership mantle. How he achieves this dream will depend on how he plays his cards. In my view, if the leaders are keen on taking over from the former Prime Minister, they ought to join hands and work in unity, something missing in the Odinga party. And from the Nyanza leaders, the leaders' disconnected efforts make them look bad than they think. If they take that route, it will take long before a leader emerges to lead them. It's not an easy task to inherit Raila, even after a time when he has not said that he is going to retire. Let me know in the comment section on what you think about the whole story and fiasco about Dr. Miguna and his desire to liberate Luos from Odingism. Do you think the Luo community need a new Kingpin? Or who's a Kingpin, by the way? Do you think Raila Odinga should retire from active politics entirely? Who is better placed in taking Raila Odinga's political leadership in Luo Nyanza? Let's engage in the comment section, and I want to appreciate for you taking the time to watch this video.